Morning! I just thought I'd do a little video blog on the words that we use when we teach dogs new cues and commands. When I teach a class or individuals, I tend to use the same words. So I use sit for sit down, I use lie for laying on the floor, I use leave it for turn away from that thing that you're looking at that you shouldn't be going towards, I use drop for release something out of your mouth. But I always just use one word per action. So I wouldn't use down for lie down and down for please don't jump up at me. Last night in class, I teach two classes on a Monday night, and it came up in both classes. So I thought it might be worth just kind of clarifying why it's important that we just use the one word. So one instance was over leave it. Now, when I teach leave it, I truly believe that at some point this can save your dog's life. And so it's really important that they are on the ball with it and they are picking it up and they are turning their head away from whatever it is that they're looking at or whatever it is that they are interested in that you really don't want them to be interested in. So I teach it leave it, and there's nothing else I use leave it for apart from move away or come away or move your head away from that thing. I teach drop, which means let go of the thing that's in your mouth. Release it. Give it to me. And you'll get a treat. Something amazing will happen when you give me that item. I appreciate that a lot of people either have had dogs before or that they have had their dog for quite a while before they come to class, and they might have already just started to use words naturally. And that's fine. It's really important that you are more natural with your dog, because in the heat of the moment you might just shout something out that you haven't taught, the word you haven't taught. And so you need to be really natural with your language. And if saying leave it is not something that you would naturally say, then you're better not using it. But this family had already started to use leave it for releasing. They've got a terrier, and they can get hold of things and shake. And so they wanted to have a really strong release cue, which was fine. But when they were training leave it and they were using the word away as opposed to leave it, which was fine, they were getting confused in their heads because they couldn't distinguish the two. They wanted to use leave it naturally, but they'd already trained that for something else. So we worked with that, and we're going to retrain drop for their release cue, or they could use out. That's a really, really common one. And they're going to go back through all the training and do leave it for come away from that. And then we had another class where we were teaching stand, and the owner was really naturally saying come, and that is very different. Stand, come, very different things. For come, we want the dog to come back to us, getting them under control, back with us. And stand, we don't really want them moving. We just want their bum to pop up from a sit. It's really useful at the vets or at groomers, get them really in a really positive way to get dogs to stand. Some dogs probably could cope with that, but I think to make it easier for all dogs, it's about trying to really think about what you say and what do you mean when you say it, and what's the end goal for the dog. Are we wanting them to leave the big bit of dark chocolate that you've just dropped on the floor that could be fatal to the dog, or are we wanting them to leave a toy because we're playing? I always say that leave it is leave it no matter what, but obviously there's different things that we want them to leave. But I teach leave it. Like, you leave it, you never get it. Even when I'm training with a dog treat initially, you don't have the treat that's in this hand, I will give you a different treat. I know some dog trainers do leave it and then you can have it, but with dark chocolate or something I drop on the floor when I'm cooking, I don't necessarily want the dog to have it. Chicken bones, you don't go leave it, oh no, you can have it. So what I'm trying to say in this long-winded way is, when you initially start training your dog, really think about the words that you're going to use, what they mean, and do they come naturally to you, especially in an emergency situation for something like leave it. You are not going to have time to faff around thinking of the word. You're going to have to say whatever comes into your mind first and hope that your dog responds. And that's why when you start, you have to really consider these things, because down the line, it could be the difference between your dog eating something or not eating something. I hope that makes sense. But you can write them down. You can have a bit of a dictionary that you pin up somewhere. It's especially important if you have multiple people in the family that work with the dog, or if you have a dog walker or relatives that come in and help you out with your puppy, which is really common, so that everyone's using the same thing. So it's not like someone saying, oh, your dog has no recall, but actually they only respond to here rather than come. It's these little things that make quite a big difference in the whole grand scheme of your dog training, and they make it much easier for you and your dog to progress quickly. Okay.